Welcome. Today, I'm talking about why manifestation is important. And first, I'd like to say a hello to my listeners in West Kelowna, British Columbia. Thank you for tuning in. I so appreciate you listening and following the show. So I want to talk about this because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about what manifestation is. There's a lot of people doing it and some people who are curious about it. So this shows more for those of you who are curious about it, or maybe have heard a lot of the misconceptions and it's kind of put you off of trying it. So let's talk about this. It's not something new. It's been around for thousands of years, but few people knew about it. It's been called a lot of different things over the years. It's been called the power of thoughts, mind power, the law of opulence, more recently, the law of attraction, creative visualization, and now the term manifestation or manifesting is what's popular, but it's all the same thing. It is a mental health practice. And the idea behind it is that you're using your mind to create dreams and desires for your life by putting positive thoughts, affirmations, manifestations out into the universe. It's a beautiful practice that requires you to actively use your mind to change your thought process from negative that might surround you currently to positive light. The premise is that that which you think, wish, dream, and manifest for is what will come. It is an act of turning your thoughts, desires, and dreams into reality. And I'm gonna say this more than once in the show because I think the biggest misinterpretation is people think it's some form of magic. It is not. It's about energy, as so much in life is. So I want to start by telling you like my first really big sign to me that I was beginning to be successful with it. And it was back, gosh, maybe 18 years ago. I was singing in Vegas with my band and we had set up a sales booth for our CDs that was a little way across from the main stage. And then we took a break and we were walking behind the main stage, coming around to the front. And I was telling my then husband, I need a massage so bad. And he said, I wish you could have found a place last night and get that done. And we walked around the stage and a massage school was setting up their booth next to our sales booth. I'm not kidding. And they were putting out the chairs and they had a sign that said free chair massage. He and I looked at each other and he's like, you're starting to scare me. And I thought, I'm not scared about it. I thought that was really a powerful sign to me that our words and our thoughts carry power. We need to be careful because what you think, what you talk about is what you're creating. So yes, I did get my free chair massage and yes, I did feel better. So that was a real eye opener and the band just thought it was amazing. So what kind of things can you manifest? Well, I'm just going to give you some examples, but the list goes on and on. Getting a better paying job, getting a loan you can afford to pay, getting a promotion or a bonus at work, earning more money in general, getting a new car, a new house, attracting a wonderful romantic partner, bringing abundance of all kinds into your life. I'm very big on emphasizing that abundance is not all about money. It's about everything in your life that makes it feel full and rich, satisfying. You can also manifest improved health, basically anything you want in your life that you're prepared to receive. And I'll explain that more later in the show. So let's talk about how to manifest, because there's a lot of talk about manifesting and people are like, yeah, but how do I do it? So the main tools that you need to do manifestation are your thoughts, so your mind, the law of attraction, and creative visualization. And here's kind of sort of the main essential requirements for making this manifestation work for you. The first is feelings, because they supply the energy to the thoughts you have. So to make electrical devices work, you need electricity. To make thoughts and visualization work and create the things you want, you need to put feeling into the process. So that means you could be awakening desire, interest, ambition, and the feeling that you already possess what you want. So I actually have another little story about that. I was telling this to a client yesterday because it was relevant for her. And she was feeling like she was having a hard time really making her business bring the abundance financially that she was looking for. And she kept asking her angels to bring more money. And I was doing the same thing. Like I had come out of a really hard relationship where that con man took my money and I was left with next to nothing. And so things were really tight for a while. So I remember asking my angels, every day I'd say, please bring me the money that I need, help me save money, help me have money for some more fun in my life. And it was kind of at a status quo. And then my angels came in and they said, Ivory, thank us for the abundance. And I'm like, but I don't have it. And they're like, thank us for the abundance. So of course I listened to my angels. So I start that day immediately. I said, angels, thank you. And I said, God, always, God, thank you for enough money to pay my bills easily, to save some money and to have some fun in life. And I'm telling you, it was the turning point. And I think that's when I really got back into manifestation because my head was clearing from the trauma and I was recovering physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's very hard to do good manifestation when you are going through trauma. So get yourself squared away and grounded first. But it really was a turning point. And since then, that's something I do every day is thanking them because it has become true and it comes easily. And so just something to think about. And the other thing is faith. You need to truly believe that you can get what you want. You should have no doubts at all. Doubts weaken your thoughts and drive away your dreams. And that includes sharing your dreams with people who you wonder if they'll support you. Don't share your dreams with them. Do not tell them I wouldn't even mention manifesting to them, those kind of people, but I wouldn't even share your dreams with them because negative, toxic people will burst your bubble and they'll be naysayers and they will take away your hope, take away your belief in yourself, your trust that you can do this. You don't need that. You need to just build up trust with yourself. You absolutely can do this. There's nothing special about me that I'm able to do this and you're not. So I did work on it for a very long time and I continued to work on it. It's an ongoing process. So the other one is focus. You need to focus your attention and direct your mental power to the image you create in your mind. I like to say, see yourself in the moment, like it's happening right now. You're living it. What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What are the emotions you feel? So let's say what you really want is to have a nicer place to live. I'm not going to define what that means because it's different for everybody, but a place to live that suits you better. See it in your mind. For a lot of people lately, it's becoming a tiny house. I'm obsessed with tiny houses, but I have too many musical instruments for a tiny house. Maybe I'll just move to a small house. But if a tiny house is your thing, visualize your tiny house. Draw a layout. What will it look like? Look at pictures online and of all the different people who've built their own, remodeled, some really interesting. I look at them all the time. I'm, like I said, a little fascination with the tiny homes. Whatever it is, find pictures and then keep that image very vivid in your mind. Now imagine yourself in that home, how it would feel to finally be in the home you really want. What would the furnishings be like? What would the view outside be like? That kind of thing. Where would you relax? Where are you going to be sleeping? Imagine yourself cooking there, literally existing as if it's real. You need to fix your attention on the mental image you create in your mind. I cannot emphasize that enough. If you allow your mind to wander whenever it wills when you're trying to manifest, you're wasting energy and you're not giving your thoughts the power they need to manifest your goal. So just think about successful people. Did they just think about a certain goal for a few minutes in a wishy-washy way and then they got what they wanted? No. There was a lot of work, passion, ambition, strong desire, perseverance, sustained focus. You don't need to try to be one of the richest people in the world or one of the most successful. You just need, This is about creating the life you want. And again, another big movement right now is to live a simpler life, to get away from that hustle mentality where you're doing everything all the time to make money, to enjoy life more, to spend more time with your family and your friends and just being. There's nothing wrong. There's a lot right with that. So to manifest something successfully, you need motivation, a reason you're doing it. You need positive thinking. You cannot allow negative thoughts or yourself to wander off like, oh, am I wasting my time? Or, oh, is this ever really going to happen? No, you just need to believe it's going to happen. And strong desire. You have to open your mind to opportunities and take action. So I'm going to tell you another story because it emphasizes this point. When I decided to move to Sedona, because my angels had been saying, you need to move to Sedona, you need to do your spiritual work full time. I was living in Cave Creek at the time. And so I was driving up, which is a bit of a drive, like an hour, 20 minutes, hour and a half usually, to come up here. I was coming up 3 times a week to Sedona looking for a place to live. And every time I drive by this plaza, I'd see if I would be drawn to it. And I saw a for rent sign in the front window of one of the units of a professional plaza. So finally, about my 3rd trip up here, I segued in, went into the parking lot, parked, walked, and I was looking in the windows and I heard my angels saying, this is the place for your business. So I started seeing myself and people I didn't know yet working with me in there and opening a business and having our own spiritual center, really just filling it with the energy, a very positive, high frequency energy, and just building something really special. And I always thought we were going to be in that unit. I didn't even know anybody up here yet. So I went to work, and I'm kind of skipping around here, but it kind of all goes together. So I also had been manifesting where I was going to work. There was a place in Sedona. I had always brought my daughter for readings. I wanted to go there. And I visualized myself getting a room there. I saw my picture up on the wall like they have, and I saw myself sitting in my office. I saw it furnished. I saw this, I saw a website. I imagined, what I would be doing with clients, the kind of sessions I'd be providing. And then a few months later, I was there and I was working. And one of my friends who was in my CODA group came up to visit with another one. And she just looked at me astonished. And she said, Ivory, this is exactly what you described to us. To a T. And I said, I manifested it. And she says, yeah, she didn't really know what that meant. But I was telling her that I was explaining to her, trying to explain like how focused I had been, that it was going to work out, that I was going to get a room there, that I was going to be successful, that I was going to build a business. And I'll talk more about that other part of the story later, but it all happened and it was manifesting. So for creating your life as you want it, here's the steps to take. Decide what it is that you want. Pick one thing. Don't try to do too many things at once. In your imagination, you create a clear mental image of what it is you want. See it vividly. Focus on this image with faith and love and trust. Treat the mental image you created in your mind as if it's reality. Let it become real for you. Behave, believe, and act as if you've already achieved your goal, or you're being in the process of achieving it. Like, you're working toward it. Every time you think about it, every time you put mental energy into that vision and to feeling the emotions and seeing yourself there, believe and trust that you are taking one more step toward making that a reality for you. Ask the universe for guidance and believe that it is attracting what you want into your life. Do you all know people, I imagine you do, who seem to have constant drama and trauma going on in their life? I'm a firm believer that a lot of that they're attracting subconsciously because they're thinking about the things that have already happened, which draws more of it to them, or they're worried about what's going to happen next, which draws more drama to them. So that is an example of a person who is manifesting something they don't want into their life. And I think the same is true It has been for me in the past, where we can manifest things we don't want with relationships. So let's say maybe you were young like I was. The first time I got married, I was 19, so innocent. And I did not understand really what he was totally like or what I was getting into. And I have to say that I I got out of that marriage with my life 10 years later, thank God. And then I seemed to attract more people like that. And I think it was because I was afraid I would attract more people like that. So I was thinking about him and the trauma I went through with him, which was subconsciously telling the universe and attracting it more toxic relationships. So it's really important to do your healing as quickly as you can and as thoroughly as you can with every situation in your life, so that you can let go of it and then feel like you're healed enough that you're not going to be attracted to that kind of person again or that kind of situation. And you don't worry about it, because the last thing you want to do is subconsciously be drawing more of that into your life. I know it's the last thing I want. It would be a good idea to start with short-term goals, and after gaining experience and confidence, move on to long-term goals. So that would be a good thing to say. Let's say that you are running really tight, like you're just kind of living paycheck to paycheck. So a great short-term goal would be, I really need $500 more a month. And so you're not saying how you're going to get it. You're just putting it out there, $500 a month. And let it happen. I'm going to tell you a little example about that, something that just blows my mind. And it happened again recently. So after I was living in that house in Sedona, after the traumatic breakup, and I had next to no money, and the sofa I had just terrible memories for me, and it triggered me every time I saw it, sat on it. And I would say, I have got to get a new sofa, but money was so tight. So out of the blue, one of my wonderful dear clients, who's also become a good friend now that she's not a client anymore, she says, "Hey, Ivory, we're selling our vacation condo in Flagstaff, and I've got a lot of really nice furniture. I'd rather give it to you than donate it. Do you want any of it? Do you need it?" And she had no idea. I never mentioned this to her or anybody else. And I said, "Yes, I really need a sofa." She's like, "Well, I've got that and some other things." So I got a couple of local guys, and they took their flatbed up, and we drove up to Flagstaff, and I ended up with a whole living room set, this gorgeous lamp, beautiful artwork, a huge mirror, just so many things. This dining room table I'm sitting at right now, and the chairs that go with it. And I didn't expect any of that. It was just like even exceeded what I had put out there. And I was so grateful, and I still am. And if she's watching, I love you so much. Thank you. That was such a beautiful gesture. And it happened again recently with something else I needed, where I was just thinking, I mentioned it to my business partner, I could really use a new. And the next thing I know, my sister's like, "Hey, we just got a new vacation cabin in Happy Jack. Would you like to have this furniture?" Seriously, really nice, nicer than I would have bought. So I could have gotten out and bought it, but I'm saving money in general. So I didn't want to spend the money on it, and I didn't have to. So I gave away what I had, and I got this set that was given to me. And every night I just want to cry, because I feel so blessed and so grateful. But I know that it's because I put that out there, and I envisioned myself having this new furniture, and just open myself up for it's going to come to me in some way, and I'm open to it. So there you go. Another real life story of manifestation. Let's talk about why manifestation works. Number one, it creates a positive headspace. And in this crazy world right now, we all need to find as much positive headspace as we possibly can. So the act of manifesting creates that positive headspace for you to live in. You're turning the negative or the areas of lack you have in your life into positive or abundant thoughts for your future. Having that positive headspace to live in, it just makes it easier for you to connect to happiness, joy, peace, balance, serenity, and other positive emotions. And it also, you're stepping away from self-limiting beliefs. You can bring anything into your life that you want, that you are prepared to receive. Creating that positive headspace also allows us to become more mindful, really present in the moment, really realizing what we're thinking about, because we're letting go of the stress and dysfunction of the day. It allows us to experience the moment we're in, that power of now, instead of worrying about the future or stressing about the past. We can't do a darn thing about what's already happened. That's over. And the future, we don't know what's going to happen, but right now in this moment, that's what you have. Great place to manifest. Number 2, it helps you connect daily to your authentic self. I have long thought living your authentic life is critical to happiness. So manifesting is supposed to be the practice of connecting to your truest dreams and desires in life, putting out intentions, affirmation, thoughts that will come true. When we do this, we're connecting to our authentic selves because we are acknowledging and recognizing what our truest desires are. We're not pushing them away and thinking, oh, I'll never have that. I'll never have the money for that, or I don't deserve that, or that's for rich people or special people or whatever. You just are pushing all that aside and reaching for it anyway. It's very important to note that the law of attraction, also manifesting, does not work if you allow your ego to sway your dreams, or if you have ill intention behind your manifesting. The universe can recognize when you're being honest and true to yourself and when you're not. So if you start thinking, I want to be famous, I want to be famous, I want to be really rich, I want to be famous, that's really kind of an ego thing, or I want to have power, ego thing. So let's be grounded with what we manifest. You want to reach high, but you don't want to step into ego. And the other thing is, you never want to manifest negative things for anyone. That's just bad. That's never going to end well for you. Don't recommend it. When we connect to our authentic selves regularly, we learn what we're passionate about. Sometimes I talk to clients and I'll say, when they're looking for their life purpose, and I say, let's start with what you're passionate about. And a lot of them give me this blank look, and I can tell that they have not really either had time or sat down to really think about, what is it I'm passionate about now? And we're not talking about your love life. I'm talking about hobbies you have or used to have, activities you really enjoy, work you've always wanted to do. Some people just really don't know. So if you're one of those, that's a good place to start. Think about what brings you joy and peace, whether it's people, a place, an activity. We're able to connect to other like-minded souls, and we allow ourselves to heal and grow so we become the best version of ourselves. I like to tell people my favorite thing to say every night after I'm done with talking to the angels and saying my prayers and doing distance healing for people is I say, angels, just please help me be a better person tomorrow than I was today. I want to improve somewhat every day. I want to learn something. I want to be better. Right now, I'm going to take a quick sip of water. It's quite hot and very dry here, so it doesn't take much for the throat to go, ah. The third thing is gratitude, so much gratitude. I am very passionate about gratitude. When I manifest, I see all the beauty and prosperity in my life that brings me to a place where I'm filled with gratitude. So that's why every morning and every night, I'll say, angels, God, I am so grateful for my house, for my family and friends, for my business, for being able to help people in such meaningful ways, for my spiritual gifts, for the beauty outside my home, just anything that strikes me, usually 5 things in the morning, 5 at night. And sometimes they're the same and sometimes they change. But it's really important to remind yourself of what you already do have that you need to be grateful for. We never want to take those things for granted, and it can be small things and it can be big things. For instance, if you live at the beach, don't you ever tell me that you haven't walked on the beach or looked at the ocean for a long time, because I can't stand it. That's like my dream, to be living at the beach. And it's, to me, it's like if you live in Sedona and you don't even look at the red rocks anymore and you never go out and enjoy the beauty here, it's like, what a waste. So wherever you are, the beauty you have around you, enjoy it, be grateful for it. And if it's not right outside your window, go to it. When you manifest, you're creating situations you want in your life that you're going to be grateful for. So you experience gratitude towards God, the universe, as if you're already experiencing the things you're manifesting. Again, putting yourself in the moment, acting like it's already there, visualizing it, feeling it, being there. Recognizing all the things to be grateful for in life really opens my eyes to even more gratitude. When I practice gratitude on a regular basis, like I do, that list just gets larger and larger in my mind, because I start seeing all the beauty. I'm so grateful for all the roses the previous resident of this home planted, because I have roses on pretty much every side of my house, glorious bushes full of these gorgeous roses, and coral and yellow and pink and red. And my neighbors appreciate my yard, and so they're grateful for it. They tell me all the time how much they love my landscaping. I didn't do it. I just have the joy of maintaining it. So there are 3 reasons why I feel manifestation works. And to be honest, even if you don't believe it's going to work, it's sort of like when I talk to people, and when the angels start coming in during their reading, sometimes I'm a little hesitant. If they haven't mentioned angels, they didn't come in for angels reading, I'll say, how do you feel about angels? And if they're open to it, then I'm going to tell them. If they're not, I'm going to say, well, I have to tell you, even if you don't believe angels are real, they're still working for you and doing, it's kind of like you don't believe in God, but God is still there and God believes in you. And, all of these things that you don't have to believe in, but it still works. So much like energy healing. That's how I started my spiritual work, was as an energy healer, doing medical qigong energy healing for many, many people for free for a long time, just because I loved it. And there were people, like my father had gout in his toe really bad, and he was visiting, and he had always laughed about, this voodoo that I do. And then I said, let me work on your toe. And I worked on it for about 20 minutes, and the gout went away for several years. After that, it wasn't voodoo anymore. So he didn't believe it, but it worked anyway. And I've had multiple people on my table over the years when I did that work, that the same thing. So I can understand that whether you believe manifestation is real or that it works, it is working in your life. And if you start noticing the things that happen to you, what you were thinking or talking about before it happened, kind of leading up to that, you may start believing it yourself and see a pattern there that'll help you accept that this is a real practice that is about energy. So manifesting just helps me have so much gratitude for my life, for myself, for my experiences. I have another story for you. So much manifesting stories in my life. This is one that my business partner, Roz, and I shared. We own Sedona Soul Sisters, a metaphysical and wellness center. And when one of the ladies was leaving, she rented a 3rd room in our original suite. And we thought, well, we need to get somebody new in there. And we had a talk in her office. We're like, we just couldn't think, I couldn't think of anybody that I'd want to bring in, because they have to be a really good fit to make it work. And we have such a harmonious office. We didn't want anything to upset the balance. And Roz says, well, there is one person, Terry Ann. I met with her recently, and I know she's going to need an office, but I don't know if she's looking for something now. And I said, well, approach her, see what she says. So she did. And 3 days later, Terry Ann was in making plans, and she's been with us since then. And it's been a perfect fit. So, I feel like we manifested Terry Ann to join our practice and be such a great part of the Sedona Soul Sisters team. And that was real. We'd laugh about it often, the 3 of us. I mean, Terry Ann has her own story about what brought her to us to begin with, But then we had one behind the scenes of what brought her to actually joining the business. So why manifestation might fail you sometimes. Those are some good things, because I've had people tell me, oh, I tried that, it didn't work. Well, there's a whole lot of things that take a lot of practice, and I think manifesting is one of them. You need to get good at it. So if you tried manifestation and it didn't work, it's probably that you didn't do it right. Remember all the things that you have to have a really clear picture. You need to really focus on it. You need to see it like it's happening. You need to really get into the experience and be in the moment. And you need to do it extensively. You need to do it a lot, daily at least. So, and you have to remember all the things about like not letting negativity get in the way from within or from other people, really trusting that you can do this and it's going to happen. So if any of those pieces are missing, that's maybe why it didn't work. So maybe you tried to attract the perfect spouse, a good job, friends, or something else, and it didn't work. Maybe you got disappointed and frustrated when nothing happened within a few days. Perhaps you attempted manifesting something negative toward another person. That's not going to be helpful to you. Disappointment and frustration awaken negative feelings, and those kind of negative feelings manifest more disappointments and frustration. So again, if you get too frustrated, if you expect too much out of yourself in the manifestation process, if you expect to be fantastic at it right away, you expect miracles from it, and then you get disappointed. Disappointment is low frequency energy. So you're going to draw low frequency occurrences and things into your life. If you feel like you were betrayed, it doesn't work for me, it works for other people, but it won't work for me, and you get angry, frustrated, same thing, low frequency energies. So again, this is an energetic practice as well as a mental health practice. I think it really goes hand in hand because we do create the energy around us. So if you tried and nothing happened, it's good to detach yourself from the negative feelings so you don't attract more disappointments in your life. You want to turn that around. So when we say it's a mental health practice, it really is about vigilance, catching yourself having negative thoughts, talking in negative ways. Turn it around and immediately reframe that. I still catch myself occasionally saying something, and immediately I'll just like, if I said it out loud, I'll turn it around, reframe it in a positive way and say that out loud. If I thought it, I'll think it in my head and put a positive spin on this whole thing. You need to check what you did wrong and learn how to proceed correctly. Try it again and keep practicing, keep going back to these elements that are necessary to be successful with it. With manifestation, you can have almost anything you desire, whether it's love, success, money, friends, a house, a car, but you have to be willing to work for what you manifest. So remember when I said I manifested that I was going to be working in Sedona at the center and successful? I had had years of training with one teacher for psychic skills, vocal healing, Reiki, some other things. Then I had a year of training with another lady for medical Qigong energy healing. Then I'd had a full year of private classes with Suzanne Wilson for mediumship. I mean, I had a lot of training and practice under my belt. I'd been doing energy healing, which really helps your frequency. I had been doing psychic readings on the side, never under my own name or face. So I was doing that for a long time, corporate intuitive work. So I had that experience and training under my belt. I didn't just move to Sedona and expect to be successful. There are people, and it's not just in the spiritual field, who will just decide that they want to do something, and they might be aware they have a gift, but they haven't honed it to a professional level. So they open up, they put the business out there and put it out, but then they don't have the ability to give the product, the service at the level that's going to give them repeat business and referrals. That's what I'm talking about. And that's just one example, because this show is not just about people working in the spiritual field, it's people in general. So you can't decide you're going to be a doctor, and even though you're really interested in healing and you love medical shows and you've studied anatomy, you can't go out, put up a shingle and get patients in and be a doctor. No, you need to have the training behind it and be ready for that. So there is work to do. It's not just saying I want it. It's not It's not sitting back and just waiting for the things you manifested to happen in your life. You need to be working toward it. When an opportunity arises, you need to see it, recognize it, step out of your comfort zone and take action. I get so sad actually with a number of people I see who I'm shown that this person is standing at the door of opportunity and their hand is on the knob, but they will not turn it because they're afraid. People get afraid of success. They're afraid of the unknown. You know, what if I have this? What if this happens? What if that happens? And it prevents them from walking through the door of opportunity that's been presented. So if you manifest something, be prepared to take the opportunities as they're presented to you. Be brave. Take a leap of faith. I was afraid to do this under my own name with my face. I was really nervous about it, but it's been fine. You can't just visualize a perfect body and bypass the exercise. You can't visualize a dream job and not be trained for it, or making lots of money and not have a way to make it. And you can't expect it to happen immediately out of thin air. Again, it isn't magic. You need to follow certain guidelines. We have to be reasonable, logical about this. There are signs on the way you're making progress, so you need to heed them and take the necessary steps. Sometimes it's signs that you're making progress with the quality of your manifestation, like when that massage school set up, like that to me was like, oh my gosh, it's working. It was my first thing that was like an immediate, and there's been many since. But it can also be about your specific thing you're manifesting. So let's say that you want to get a new car and money's getting in the way. You just don't quite have enough money. And then you start, like, maybe you get an ad in the mail that offers this incredible deal on a vehicle. If you throw that away and you don't go check into that, you're throwing away a window of opportunity. You don't know how it's going to come to you. You just have to be open to seeing signs. That is a sign. That's a clue by four, as I like to call it. So when something's presented to you, at least check it out. If you're trying to manifest your dream job but don't have the skills for it, you might not believe you will get it. And you probably won't, because you need to be working on your skills while you're manifesting your dream job. No one will hire you if you don't have the skills for the job. So the logical, grounded part is you get the skills, you get the education you need, and then you manifest that perfect job. Again, I'm going to say this again because there is so much misunderstanding about this, and it puts some people off doing it. Manifesting is not magic. It's about energy. It's about your mental thoughts. Your thoughts have energy, and so do your desires. When they're positive and you're taking steps to making it happen, then your manifestation will be more powerful. So you probably have heard manifesting your dreams. What does that mean? You know, sometimes you hear these things and you're like, yeah, but what is that? To manifest something is to create it using the power of your thoughts, your imagination, and your subconscious mind, and to get the help of God, your angels, the universe. It means making your dreams come true through the correct use of your thoughts, imagination, and manifesting techniques. When you believe in something, you focus on it, you visualize it really vividly, you change how you see the world and how you perceive others. You open yourself to receiving and recognizing opportunities and possibilities. I really feel like it's equivalent to traveling out of the country for the first time. I was very young. I was lucky. I auditioned and got into this America's Youth in Concert when I was 17. And my parents let me go, and we toured Europe on a singing tour, and all kinds, like Carnegie Hall and Albert Hall in London and Notre Dame Cathedral, and sang for the Pope. That trip was so much more than singing. That trip opened my eyes to how big the world is and how wonderful and varied all the countries are. And it really whet my appetite for travel. And that never went away. It just got stronger since then. So this is equivalent to that. So opening up your mind to the possibilities, the vast possibilities for you out there. Maybe you've thought your life has always been this way and it always will be this way. I've tried so hard and I can't break the cycle. This is something I would recommend that you try if that's true for you, or you just feel like you've hit a plateau and you're not really making progress. One of the things it can be, I work with a lot of people who realize they have a spiritual gift and they want to bring it to the highest level possible. You can manifest, see yourself having amazing psychic abilities, see yourself hearing angels clearly, seeing them, just getting constant guidance from them, whatever it is. Whatever it is your skill is and you want to do, you can manifest that being more powerful, but you also keep working on it too. It means making your dreams come true. When you believe in something, you do open your world. The universe is going to respond to your vibes and offer opportunities to you when you're open to receive them. But if you allow doubt, if you don't trust, if you're allowing people to tell you, you're wasting your time, what a goofy thing. Why would you do something like that? What's wrong with you? That is going to definitely interfere with the outcome of your manifesting. So for example, let's say you want a car. You decide whether it's new or a secondhand car. You visualize its shape and color and imagine yourself driving it. Then you check out how much it costs and what are your financial options. Then you find yourself thinking more and more about this car. You see cars like it on the road in magazines, on TV. You become interested in reading ads about cars or visit showrooms. Sooner or later, you're going to be guided to the car you want, and the circumstances will be right for you to own that car. I want to finish by telling you one final story. I sort of touched on it and I realized I didn't mean to tell you that one until later. So when I was coming up here checking out houses 3 times a week, and I went by that plaza and I saw the for rent sign and I looked in and I just knew, and the angels are like, this is the place, and I knew it. So I visualized working in that suite and opening a business there. Now, understand that, again, I didn't know anybody in Sedona, and I was just starting my career full time. So I went to the center and I knew I was going to be starting my own business as soon as possible. And I met Roz, and she, as it turns out, had always figured she'd be going back into her own office too. She before just rented an office, but we were opening a spiritual center. So I told the ladies about, because 2 others were joining us, I told them about this suite and we went and looked at it. And from the outside, I know at least 2 of them were not so sure. They're like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's in a good place for it. It's a professional plaza. But then we went inside and they felt the energy in there and they were all like, yes, this is the place. It had 4 offices. And it had a reception area and a little kitchen, a restroom. It was perfect for our needs. And we did rent that. And that's where Sedona Soul Sisters started. And we were there for close to 3 years, at least 2.5 years, and moved to a different suite in that plaza because it was quieter, and it's suite 111. Angel numbers. You know what 111 is all about. So just some stories for you from my own life, a real life manifesting. And I really got kind of hooked on it because ever since that episode in Vegas with the massage school, and I was just stunned. I have had many times where I think of something and boom, it happens. I talk about something, boom, it happens. I think it's because I just don't allow a lot of negativity in my mind. I don't allow negativity around me. I limit that and I set strong boundaries with it. So hopefully with this show, it gives you some better understanding of what manifesting is, how to do it, how to make it more powerful, how to be more successful with it. And I wish you happy manifesting. Tune in next Sunday. The topic is Your Angels Are Aware of the Chaos. That will be a pre-recorded show because it's my sister Dee's birthday and I'm going to be spending the day with her at her cabin. In the meantime, may your angels surround you. May your angels protect you every moment, every day of your life. I'll see you next week.